welcome back to my nail corner. Today is going to be about Dipalicious Nails, kind of a first impressions, though I did do a mani before this one with these products, but I'll fill you in on that in a minute. So I got their base / top coat and their activator in a dropper bottle. The dips all come with this plastic seal around them. This one remained sealed because I ordered 2 of them. I was actually real excited about that color and apparently accidentally put 2 in my cart, so I'm going to save that one and include it in a future giveaway. So I'm going to show you the colors that I ordered. I ordered 2 thermal colors, some flakies, a fine glitter, and a couple solids. So there's like a nice kind of sagey green, a navy. That middle one, the peachy glitter, is the one I got 2 of. And then these 2 on the end are thermals. And then there was a flaky in the middle that I thought would be good by itself or as a topper. So if you're on Instagram, you saw my mani post. It would be yesterday. That is the navy used as a topper and by itself. So I love dramatic changing thermals, and that flake caught my eye immediately. I loved kind of the pink-purple multicolor shift of it, and I just thought it was beautiful. So that's what I'm going to dip into today. So my application is going to be a very basic 1 dip color mani. It's so funny because I was like, we had an appointment to go to an attorney to finalize our wills. We were going with my husband's grandparents to look at a retirement community for them. And I was like, I really don't want to walk into these like professional situations with like 2 different manis on either hand, because as much as I'm used to seeing that now, I think it's probably pretty strange for the general public. So I was like, I'm going to go with 1 color on all 10 fingers. And so of course that 1 color is a thermal with shifting colored flakes to it. So that's about as basic as I could get for the moment. And another funny thing is I dipped my daughter's nails the other day. She really liked one of the ones I did, which will be coming up next week for you guys. And she asked me to put it on her nails. So I did 1 hand, and then I asked for her other hand, and she was like, "No, mommy, I just want one like you." I think I've ruined her already, and at school they might look at her a little bit strange, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get into the basic application here and talk to you about the products as we go. So first of all, I love this flaky thermal. It's gorgeous. It was super easy to work with. I like their little jars. They were perfectly adequate, like size. The packaging was great. All of that. The dip or the liquids I really liked. So this is the base and top combo, and I went ahead and used it as both so you can see how it performs as a top coat. As far as base goes, I think I would say it compares to let me think. Probably Virgo and Gem, but it's slightly thicker than that. So kind of similar consistency, but just a little bit thicker. But not thick. Like, I hope that makes sense. So Virgo and Gem is probably the thinnest base that I've used and gives you super, super thin layers. This is slightly thicker than that, but like I said, not thick at all. It was a really nice consistency. It wasn't runny. It gave me really good coverage, like 1 dip right there, like full coverage. There were no like bare spots or anything. So as a base, I really liked it, and I've used it a couple times since I did this mani. It performed really well. So if you haven't seen me apply a flaky dip powder before, then what you're seeing me do after is just kind of pat those down flat. And if you're somebody that actually dips your nail like at a 45-degree angle into dip powder, when you're working with a flake especially, I recommend you turning your finger kind of upside down and laying it into the powder like that, because if you dip into it, you get kind of the flakes kind of lay weird or they stick up strange, and depending on the brand, sometimes the flakes are just less, I don't know, manipulatable? Is that a word? Less easy to manipulate. Less, you can't like lay them flat as easily, so you really want to lay your finger down flat in there to get the flakes as flat as possible. These in particular, basically melted into the base. They laid super flat as soon as I did a tap, tap, tap on the top. They were really flush with my nails. So I had no issues with these products. They performed really well. I am going to finish my first dip here. I'm going to do a second dip and a cap and clear. I'm going to come back and talk to you about the cap and clear and the activator in just a couple minutes. So hang in there. Alright, so we are going to get into a cap and clear here. If you're new here, I will explain to you real quickly why I like to cap and clear. Capping and clear is just a dip of clear dip powder over any color dip powder that you've already done. This helps protects the pigment while you're buffing and filing. It protects glitters when you're filing and buffing, because if you file or buff into a glitter, they are typically silver on the inside, so any color on the outside is going to be filed off. If you create a French or ombre or any kind of design on your nail, you're risking buffing that away, and then even like flakes, you could buff away some of the flakes on your nail, and that just kind of ruins the look that you created. So a cap and clear is really, really valuable. One of the reasons I like to do it also is because when I activate the nail, my activator only ever comes in contact with clear, and therefore my activator does not get contaminated with pigment or glitter. However, Dipalicious has a fun option on their website, so you can order their base and top coat in a bottle like I have here, or a clear glass bottle, and you can order their activator in a typical bottle like the base and top is in, or in one of these dropper bottles. And so I opted to order the dropper bottle because I had never used one before, and I thought, we'll see how this goes. So I kind of rubbed it over the surface of the nail while I was doing it, because I didn't want to like flood my nail, and I felt like more activator came out from the dropper bottle than it would typically hold on a brush. It performed fine. It hardened the dip powder just fine. I just felt like because it was more, like maybe you can tell my nails look wet right now. I felt like it took longer for the activator to kind of dry or set in. Now, I'm new to using the dropper bottle, and so that could be just, it is just user error, maybe, if you want to call it that. So I went ahead and filed and buffed, and like I said, the activator performed perfectly fine. It hardened the nails. I filed, buffed, like no issue. And then this is my second activator because I'm going to be using Dip Top Coat. Now, you'll see in a minute, my typical process is to apply the activator and then take a lint-free wipe and wipe the surface of my nails. Do you see that? All 10 fingers match, you guys. It's a miracle. Anyway, when I go in with the lint-free wipe, it was kind of sticking to my nail surface a little bit, and I think that 100% had to do with the amount of activator that was still left on my nail. Now, this is my very typical process, and usually I apply activator and then go right back in, and you saw me just check the nail because I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting like the lint-free wipe literally stuck to the top of the dip powder. So I could have waited like 2 minutes, which is kind of the recommended amount of time, and they may have been fine, but going in with my typical process, it was a little bit too fast and the activator hadn't really dried by the time I was ready to wipe my nails down. So just a tip, if you're going to use the dropper bottle, give it a little extra time for the activator to dry before you go in with anything else. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply my Dip Top Coat. And again, my routine is this. So you wipe down the nails after your second activator and then go in with your Dip Top. Your first layer of Dip Top Coat should be applied in 2 to 3 quick swipes over the nail. Wipe off your brush before you go back into your jar of top coat. The reason you want to wipe off your brush is because you're touching activator on your nail. And while the top coat needs activator in order to cure on your nail, like harden and get shiny, you don't want that activator getting back into your jar of top coat because you'll start to cure the liquid in the bottle of top coat and it will get gunky and thick. So if you're having that problem, make sure you wipe off your brush before you go back in for your next dab of top coat. So with your second layer of top coat, you can apply it more thoroughly. You can go a little bit more slowly, get around all your sidewalls, cuticle, and then free edge, and just make sure you do a nice, thorough, smooth, thin coat. It's a fine line, right? Like not too thick, because sometimes if you're having problems with your top coat not curing all the way, you may be applying your top coat too thick and it's just not enough activator to balance out the thickness of your top coat. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it helps you if you've been having issues with anything like that. So the top coat performed flawlessly for me. I had no issues, and this just goes to show how often I'll say, like, you can substitute your base for your top coat or your top coat for your base if you run out of a liquid or ruin one. You can do that in a pinch, and this is exactly why. Like, this brand and Nail Addiction both sell a base and top coat in one, and look how glossy. So now those have dried down, and do you see how glossy and shiny that top coat is? It's gorgeous. It performed really well. So check out Dipalicious if you haven't already. I'll make sure there's a link in the description box, and they probably have a referral program, so I will drop that link down there as well. I think it's 10% off your first order. So I am finishing up with Candi Skincare Cuticle Candy as per usual. It's my favorite way to finish a mani, just hydrating those cuticles after I've had like chemicals all around them and filing and buffing and all those things. So if you need some cuticle candy, check out the description box for a discount for them. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you'll check out Dipalicious and let me know your thoughts. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.